And I mean, we go right into my next question about what about the students or adults that do not have a lot of work experience? How can they prepare for career fairs? Because I think sometimes they're wondering the most about that is, how can I stand out from all of these people?
Well, it's really important, again, to consider that you are presenting yourself in a professional manner. So, unfortunately, your dress does matter. Fortunately and unfortunately, I guess. So, present yourself in a professional manner, do your research on the company, and be prepared to highlight how the skills that you have learned in the past, be it from some classes that you took or a position that was outside of the industry, be prepared to show how the skills that you've gained can transfer. Those transferable skills, it's very important that you can talk about that.
And sometimes volunteer opportunities can be used as work experience. So maybe you volunteer at the University of Florida Health for a year and help in their nursing lab. I don't know, I'm just saying something. That is experience. So you want to make sure that you include that on there as well.
Most definitely. And folks who are in entry-level positions, are applying for entry-level positions, oftentimes are coming out of school. So you want to indicate student groups that you were in.
Right.
Like Altonia said, volunteer opportunities that you engaged in. There are many different experiences that you can highlight. It doesn't only have to be a paid work experience.
I asked at the beginning, why are job fairs important? But now I want to ask, why is attending job fairs important?
Practice.
Wow. Yeah. It allows you to practice. It allows you to get a better understanding of what's in your community. Because a lot of times students feel, well, I'm a nurse, so I can only work in a hospital. No, that's not true. There are a variety of other areas where you can work in the health field, and the career fair gives you the opportunity to broaden your horizon in regards to places that hire.
The practicing is wonderful. It's a great opportunity. It also gives you a chance to see what folks are looking for.
Right.
So once you engage a potential employer, talk with them more about, what are you looking for in these positions? And it also, again, like you said earlier, helps you to begin networking.
Right.
It's very important that you network. The challenge comes for some students that we work with and community members. The challenge comes when you have to pull all those pieces together.
Right.
Because it does require that you're able to present professionally, do your research, present with a wonderful resume and cover letter, and also network. So pulling those pieces together can sometimes be a challenge for folks.
Can either of you give me some advice on how to get the most out of job fairs? Besides practicing, we get that. But what else can you get out of it?
There's a lot that you can get out of career fairs. Just to summarize the networking piece.
Right.
In order to, I feel, gain the most from a career fair experience, you want to, do your research, prepare yourself, of course. You want to research the companies that you're interested in. And if you identify that there are 3 companies that you're particularly interested in, I've heard some folks say, well, I'm going to go and practice my elevator speech a couple of times before I hit those companies that I'm really very interested in. So people approach it different ways, but knowing ahead of time, if you can, who is going to be there will really help you get the most out of that experience.
Also, being prepared to ask questions such as what type of skills are needed in this position, or what's the day-to-day responsibilities of someone in this position. Because if you don't have those skills at the moment, it allows you to go back and start working to build those skills. I like to call it working backwards. So if you have the knowledge of this is what you need, this is the education you need, this is the certifications you need, now it's time for you to start building those skills. So it serves as an opportunity for you to learn more about your industry and start preparing yourself for that future job.
And
so glad.
We've mentioned elevator speeches. For those of our listeners that may not know what that is, can you explain what the elevator speech is?
Sure.
Well, the question when they always ask, so tell me about yourself. That is how it starts. And you have exactly, 30 seconds is the rule?
I gave you guys 30 seconds at the beginning.
Yes, you have about 30 seconds to tell this employer about your professional self.
Right.
It's an opportunity for you to tell them what industry you have worked in the past, why you are interested in their company, maybe throw in some highlights about what you've learned through your research, And then it really allows you the opportunity to, again, highlight why you are a good fit.
Right. And then express your personal goals, too.
Right, of course. I know when I did a few interview classes and, career development classes, and when it came to the interview times, there was always one question that I was like, please don't ask me, please don't ask me. And they all asked this question: what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? How do you say, this is my weakness, but I'm actually really, really awesome?
You want to keep in mind that if you've identified that your Achilles heel, for example, is time management, we would not recommend that you go in and say, well, my weakness is time management. However, I'm great at all of these other things. No, you don't want to approach it that way. You want to identify some genuine weaknesses that you are currently working on, so that when you're asked that question, tell me about your strengths, tell me about your weaknesses. You can indicate, these are the weaknesses that I've identified, and these are the ways that I'm working to improve that.
Okay, so when in doubt, when you're talking about weaknesses, this is my weakness, but this is how I'm working to fix it, to make it, to conquer it, or make it a strength.
Yes, and one of the pet peeves that I've heard from quite a few employers is when folks will say, well, I'm a workaholic. Or I work
or
too
I care
much.
too much.
They don't like that.
No.
That's the feedback that we're getting. They need to see a genuine weakness, but again, keep in mind, you don't want to throw something out there that is detrimental to you getting this job.
Exactly.
Well, I would like to thank you guys so much. This was Pamela Watkins and Altania Bryant, the Career Development Center Managers at the Florida State College of Jacksonville. Once again, thank you guys for coming, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. One last thing.
Of course.
There is another